Welcome to day number 4 of how to get your first wholesale deal. Now, what do you do when the owner straight up calls you out and asks you, are you just going to wholesale the property? Do you lie to them or do you tell them the truth that you are wholesaling the property? Now, what do you do when you're calling the seller, but the person that answers the phone tells you that the seller is dead? Do you still work the deal or do you just hang up the phone? Well, today we're going to answer what do you do with common seller pushbacks like the 2 I just gave you. And also we'll go over more. And with that, we'll go over how you can find deals, right? So I gave you guys the Hamilton County, trick with Zillow as far as finding distressed properties in my specific county, which was Hamilton County, but it works in any county. So I gave you guys that tip on day number 2. But today we'll go over more ways you can find deals. Now, if you did not see any of the other episodes for any reason, I'll make sure I put that link in the description. So you go ahead and start watching the playlist of the other episodes of how to get your first wholesale in 10 days, how to get your first wholesale deal in 10 days. All right. Now let's go ahead and hop into it because we're coming with the slaps today. You know what it is. All right. So with the, finding new leads, right? So finding new deals, I'm going to give you guys a couple different ways you can find deals, right? And the first thing, we're going to go over is the simple way, right? So if you're driving around, guys, you're driving around. If you're a young person that's watching this, you're on a school bus, you see a house, maybe, you see something, you see what is by, you hit up Google Images later and you figure out a landmark that is by, and then you figure out, where that property was at, and then you look it up in your county site. Maybe you're a person that has a car, right? Most likely you're a person that has a car and you're watching this. And if you have a car and you're watching this, then what you can do is ride around, the neighborhoods in your city that has distressed properties. That's one thing about this driving for dollars thing, right? You want to make sure that, you're riding around in places that have distressed properties. So I'll be transparent with you guys. I did not do much driving for dollars in the beginning. Like I did do it in the beginning. Nowadays, I don't do it much. But even in the beginning, I didn't rely on it. Like that wasn't my main thing. I would just kind of do it if I was in the area that I know had distressed properties. Then I would ride around in that specific area, and then I would have the distressed properties. Guys, this light getting a little bright. Let me turn it down. All right. So when you are riding around in those areas, then you're able to find the distressed properties because, the distressed properties look a little run down. Maybe the grass is overgrown, stuff like that. That's what it looks run down from the outside and the grass is overgrown. Those kind of things will make you call that property. Other than that, then you're wasting your time. You could be wasting your time because you don't want to just keep calling properties that look very nice, right? You don't want to call, just nice properties for no reason. Then you're wasting your time. All right, and let's get right to the next one. This brings me to the next one, all right? Next one is county leads. But to go back to the first one real quick, you record those leads. You can write them on a piece of paper, and then you can put them into your, organic trace. Make sure you guys get that organic trace utilizing the lead tracker. I call it my organic trace. Utilizing the lead tracker. Utilize the lead tracker with Google Sheets, okay? So go ahead, download that Google Sheets, or copy, paste it, put it into your own Google Sheets, and you can download that when you're, driving around. You can have the app open. All right, so to get to the county leads, these are free leads, guys. Make sure you are calling these free leads. So your county, they could have a rental registration list, they could have a demolition list, and they could have a delinquent tax list, and then they'll have a pre-foreclosure or sales tax, like one of those kind of things, right? So a tax sale or a pre-foreclosure sale as well. So with those type of things, you guys want to make sure that you are calling your county and asking about this. Now you can, hit up your Google, do your Googles first, right? So Google all the things that I just said, rewind it back if you didn't hear me. So you can Google those things, or you can go ahead and call your county and ask them, do you have these lists? And they'll tell you that they're either, free, and they'll navigate, tell you where to go, or they'll tell you that you have to pay. And usually if you have to pay, they'll tell you, the price range, and it can vary by, how many leads you get. okay? Now, one thing that you typically have to call the county for is the code enforcement list. And I will highly urge you guys to get the code enforcement list, because this code enforcement list is going to give you guys properties that are overgrown, grass, you know, litter out, all that kind of stuff, demolition list properties. All those type of properties will be on that. So it's a whole bunch of motivated sellers, you know, on that list. So I would definitely urge you guys to call your county or city and ask them, you know, do you have the, you know, code enforcement list? And also your city typically has the demolition list. That's where I got my first deal. So you can Google it, right? So, you know, you can Google whatever city you're in, demolition list, it may pop up, or you'll give them a call, ask them if they have one, and, you know, and tell them you like a copy, and just be transparent. Tell them that you're purchasing property in the area. Tell them that you work for a company though. That's what I typically do. You know, I say, you know, my company, you know, we're purchasing property in the area, and, you know, we like to, you know, get a whatever list that you're looking for, right? And this is public domain, it's public records. You're not asking for, you know, the code to the White House, all right? So you're good, it's legal. So don't trip about it, it's 100% legal. So another thing, like I said, delinquent taxes, that's a huge one. You will have to call your treasury, right? So with the other ones, you may give your, you know, auditor a call, your county auditor a call, but with your delinquent taxes, you want to call your treasury. So give your treasury a call and tell them, you know, what you're doing, and, you know, you're looking to purchase properties with delinquent taxes. Ask them if they have a list, and then ask them about their sale. Ask them if they're a tax lien or a tax deed state. That's a major difference, and I'll give you a quick rundown. So with the tax lien, that means that you're buying a lien on the property, and then it's a certain period of time. So it can be like a year or 2 years, that if the owner doesn't pay off that lien, then you, being the, you know, the tax lien holder, you would actually get the asset, which the asset is the house. So within like a 1 or 2 year period, or you'll get a 12% interest. That's typically how it is. Depends on what market you're in though. But that's typically what the tax lien is, right? Whereas a tax deed state, you're buying the actual property the same day that you place the highest bid on the property. So just learn the difference of your state, learn what you operate in, and you'll be able to know the difference. Like I can tell you, Ohio is a tax deed state, whereas, you know, Kentucky's a tax lien, right? So they put the lien on the property, whereas Ohio to give you the deed. So that's a major difference. Make sure you guys know what your state does. All right, another thing. So, you know, those kind of are the two main county free leads sources that you can kind of go. Well, I gave you guys more than two, but as far as free lead sources, those are the main things. So driving for dollars, and then your county. Your county is huge, guys, because that's what PropStream and all these type of places get their information from. And also your rental registration, right? Ask them about the rental registration. You can call the auditor and ask them about that, right? So that's, you know, your absentee owner list. That's what that is. But you can get that from free from your county, and it may even have the property owner's correct number on there, because they require the property owner, like the county will require the property owner, if they are renting out the property, to submit a rental registration to the county. But this does vary by county. So give your county a call, become familiar with your county, and, you know, speak to all the different departments, right? So I just gave you, you know, the public nuisance department, right? Maybe the building department, the treasurer, and also the auditor. Those are different departments within your county and city that you may have to give a call. So look up their information, become, you know, friends with them, become friendly with them is what I'm saying, because at the end of the day, they get paid to serve you. You're part of the public. They get paid to serve the general public. So just get on the phone, ask them questions. They'll be patient with you, and you be patient with them. All right, now let's get here, you know, what y'all really probably came here for. But those two are very huge, and make sure you're utilizing the lead tracker so you can keep track of that information. That's very huge stuff that I just gave you guys. So use it. This is day number 4. Use that on day number 4. That way you'll be prepared for day number 5. But this will really get you prepared, right? So these pushbacks, guys, your seller is oftentimes going to have pushbacks because you're a person that's calling. And I tell you guys to have a company name. You can have a company name. You don't have to have it on paper, right? What's on paper is on paper because you put it on paper. Just remember that, right? What's on paper is on paper because you put it on paper. So make sure you just come up with a company name, whatever that company name may be, okay? So the company name that you use to speak with your people, you may be speaking with them and for whatever reason they don't trust you and they may be, leery of you and they may feel like you're trying to take advantage of them, right? So that being said, they're going to have certain kind of pushbacks. And one of the unintentional pushbacks is going to be if you give them a call and you don't know that the person that you're speaking with is deceased, okay? So if you don't know that, then it's not really your fault, but how you deal with it is your responsibility, okay? Now, let me get a little drink real quick. You know how I go. I'm one take. So let me, All right. Whew. All right, guys. So what you want to do when you speak with these, owners, right? Say you call. We're calling to speak with Jane Doe, right? So Jane Doe, we ring, and a woman answers, right? So I teach you guys the assumption technique. The assumption technique is when a woman answers, then you have how to do a big goal. Shoot, give me a second. Okay, I don't know if I'll leave that in there. We'll see. All right, so the assumption technique is when you are giving them a call and you just figure out, you just figure that who answers is the owner because it's their gender and because it'll build that familiarity. If it is the owner, you'll build that rapport right off bat, right? So let's give this woman Jane a call. Ring. Hello? Hey, Jane, this is D'Angelo. I'm calling about the property on 123 Main Street. Did I catch you at a bad time? Make sure you guys always use that. No, Jane is actually deceased. She passed away about a year ago. Right? Now, when I first started, I was right there. I was, shoot. It was awkward, right? But you guys can't deal with it like that because you're going to not know it's going to be awkward. So that's why I say it's your responsibility for how you deal with it, because if you make it awkward, then it'll be awkward. But if you do what I'm about to show you, then it's a breeze and you may even get a deal out of it. So let me show you what it is. So ring. Hello? Hello? Hey, this is D'Angelo. Hey, Jane, this is D'Angelo. I'm calling about the property on 123 Main Street. Did I catch you at a bad time? Oh, well, Jane is actually deceased. She passed away about a year ago. That's unfortunate. I'm actually just calling to speak with the property owner of 123 Main Street. Does that happen to be you? Yes, I actually am the property owner. I'm her daughter. Okay, well, I was giving you a call because and then you go into what you have to say next. And I ain't gonna go into all that right now, but you guys should really know, what you should say next. Basically has to do with what you're doing, which is purchasing property in the area. All right, so that being said though, you see what I did? That's unfortunate. Guys, you have to use that, right? That's unfortunate. And if you'd like to know more tips and tricks like this and also the full script, again, shop successfully, click that link in the description. Go ahead and get the full course, Cold Call to Success, where I show you guys my script that I use and I use for my, my team. And also, I give you guys a lot of information, all the information that I've really learned over the last 3 years of cold calling and, dealing with customers or, clients and, things like that. And also dealing with buyers as well. So, guys, you say that's unfortunate. I was actually calling to speak with the property owner of 123 Main Street. Does that happen to be you? And what that does there is you use the formula. And I teach you guys about the formula in Cold Call to Success, the course as well. But the formula is you do a comment, then a question. And what that does is the comment, you show respect, right? And then the question changes the direction of the conversation, which is what I just did right there, right? So the conversation, if I let it, could have been about how Jane passed away and how she left the property and what happened. It could have been about that, but I made it about ownership. Who owns the property? That's what I want to know about, right? People die every day. Don't forget that. And it's not about being any type of way except for getting the deal done. And at the end of the day, you're here to feed your family, not talk about, what's going on outside the deal. And you can build rapport. Don't get it twisted. I'm not saying don't build rapport. Build rapport, but at the same time, know what strikes people. You can't say too many things about a person, a loved one that's passed away that's going to be right or that's going to be comforting. You can't really say anything, right? So don't avoid that. So that's how you build rapport. Avoid difficult conversations, difficult topics, just like death. It's a difficult area. Avoid it at all costs, okay? So avoid it by using the formula. Comment, then question. The comment, oh, that's unfortunate, right? That's unfortunate. Question. I'm actually calling to speak with the property owner of 123 Main Street. Does that happen to be you? Does that happen to be you is the question, okay? So there it is right there. That's how you deal with, that pushback, right? Not really a pushback, but that's what that's how you deal with that. Because you're going to come across that situation. If you don't know how to deal with it, it'll be very awkward and you can lose out on deals. Well, not lose out on deals, but it'll just be an opportunity that you just didn't take a full advantage of, all right? So there it is right there. Abundance mindset. You always get what's meant for you. Here we go for the money one, right? This is the big one. So guys, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't. I would appreciate that. Like and subscribe and that notification bell. We on day 4 and I'm about to hit you guys with a huge one that you've probably been wondering. I know I used to wonder it, but this is how you do it. And this is tested over years, right? So here it is. If the owner is asking you, hey, D'Angelo, hey, you watching this, you're just going to wholesale the property, right? Why would I even sell it to you? You're just going to wholesale it. You're one of those wholesalers, right? You're one of those wholesalers. You're wholesaling the property. You're just getting it under the market and then selling it. And I could have sold it for a higher price. You're just wholesaling the property, right? Guys, all of that right there. I'm about to get rid of all that for you, right? And when I say this is when I tell you what I'm about to say. This is what the seller's reaction is. They're literally like, oh. Well, I might be really interested in selling. I'll tell you this, D'Angelo. Let me talk with my wife about it, and I'll give you a call back up tomorrow, okay? What time works best for you, John? Well, give me a call back about 12. All right, I'll give you a call back at 12. All right, perfect. I appreciate your time, D'Angelo. Oh, you have a good one, John. My pleasure. That's how this goes, right? Because what I'm about to say builds credibility, and then also you got to say it with confidence because that's what really sells the credibility aspect of it. And also what I say, I make them feel better about themselves, right? So I use the formula. Here's the formula, right? If you haven't heard it, write it down on a piece of paper if you haven't got it. Guys, the formula, again, you simply say, comment, then question, right? Comment, you show respect, right? You want to show respect. You're not a smart aleck, whatever they call it. You're not being demeaning out here, condescending, right? Whatever. You're not being any of those things, right? So comment, question. Changes the direction of what the whole conversation is. Use the formula. It works in just about any conversation or negotiation, okay? So here it is. D'Angelo, you're just going to wholesale the property, right? Well, John, we'll go with John. So, well, John, we have several different exit strategies. With you being, well, John, we have several different exit strategies. We may either wholesale the property. Guys, give me a second. I really work better when I'm on the phone. I don't know why. I'll get it to you, though. When I'm on the phone, it's like I go and I just do it. But here it is. All right. Well, John, we have several different exit strategies. So we'll either keep the property for ourselves, maybe fix it up, put it back on the market, or, if the numbers make sense, we'll just go ahead and keep it as a rental, maybe put a little into it, but keep it as a rental for the long term. But if the numbers don't work for us, then we'll go ahead and assign it to an investor in our network. But with you being an investor, I'm sure you already know that, right? But with you being an investor, I'm sure you already know that, right? But with you being an investor, I'm sure you're already aware of that, right? But with you being an investor, I'm sure you are already aware of that, right? With you being an investor, I'm sure you already know that, right? Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, I get it. Okay, all right. Yes, sir. So then you switch the conversation, whatever you have to say next. But that right there is what you are going to say. And guys, you already know I appreciate you watching. If you stayed this far, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button as well. And make sure you stay tuned for day number 5. Right now, you guys are all the way, you know how to deal with some common seller pushbacks. And also you are aware of how to, contact people, got your number, you got the utilizing, you got the foundation built. Guys, you all the way, you in the air, you're flying to getting that first deal. You're on that journey, you're on that path. And as long as your heart is in every step, then you are already a success. But you have to truly feel like that and believe that and truly feel how you think you would feel if you've already attained the level of success that you think that you want to reach for this current amount of time, where you're going to have, more levels of success that you are going to reach once you already reach those levels. And, especially by watching this channel and subscribing, you're going to be even more successful. As always, get to stepping.